Have you ever felt like your mind is a whirlwind of distractions, pulling you in every direction except the one that matters? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In a world full of noise and endless demands, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a roadmap to quiet the chaos and focus on what truly matters. It's not just a set of abstract ideas, it's a practical guide for clarity, balance, and purpose. In this video, we'll uncover 10 simple yet powerful daily habits rooted in Stoicism that can help you cut through mental clutter, boost your productivity, and align your actions with your deepest values. These aren't outdated concepts, they're timeless tools to navigate the challenges of modern life. Let's explore how you can transform your day-to-day routine with these actionable steps and reclaim the mental clarity and inner peace you might not even realize you've been missing. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's great Stoic philosophers, was known for starting his mornings with a simple but profound practice, quiet reflection. In his Meditations he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless wisdom is the foundation of our first Stoic habit, beginning the day with a moment of intentional silence. In a world where we're often jolted awake by alarms and immediately bombarded by notifications or a flurry of responsibilities, taking time for stillness may feel counterintuitive. But it's precisely this pause that allows you to reclaim control over your day before the external world demands it. Imagine this: instead of reaching for your phone or diving straight into your to-do list, you dedicate the first 5 to 10 minutes of your morning to sitting quietly with your thoughts. Maybe you close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and allow your mind to settle. Or perhaps you use this time for journaling, jotting down your intentions for the day. The purpose isn't to solve problems or plan every detail ahead. It's to create space to observe your thoughts, emotions, and priorities without the external noise. This small act of stillness sets the tone for the day, giving you clarity and resilience to face challenges with purpose and calm. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control external events, we can control how we respond to them. Morning stillness is a way to prepare your mind for this. It helps you distinguish between what is truly important and what is merely urgent or distracting. For example, during those moments of quiet, you might identify that spending quality time with loved ones or focusing on a meaningful project is far more important than being consumed by emails or social media notifications. This clarity can guide your choices throughout the day, making you less reactive and more intentional. If you're wondering how to fit this habit into your already busy morning, start small. You don't need an elaborate routine. You could wake up 5 minutes earlier than usual, sit in a comfortable chair, and simply breathe. Or keep a notebook on your bedside table and write down 3 questions. What is within my control today? What truly matters? How can I approach the day with calm and focus? By answering these questions, you're reframing your mindset from one of chaos to one of centered purpose. Think about this. How often do you start your day feeling rushed, already behind, or overwhelmed by everything ahead? Now ask yourself, what would it feel like to begin with calm instead? This is your chance to prioritize stillness, even if it's just for a few minutes. What can you do tomorrow morning to create a pocket of silence before the demands of the day take over? By making this small shift, you'll find that this one habit has the power to ripple through everything else, grounding you in strength and clarity as you embrace whatever lies ahead. Picture this: you've spent an entire day anxious about a project deadline, only to realize that the delay wasn't caused by anything you did, but by factors completely outside your control. Maybe a colleague missed their part, or unexpected technical issues arose. It's frustrating, isn't it? Yet, how much of that frustration stems from trying to control the uncontrollable? This leads us to the second Stoic habit, focusing on what you can control. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple yet transformative concept, the ability to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. Epictetus put it perfectly when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is a cornerstone of mental clarity and productivity because it helps you conserve your energy for what truly makes a difference. When we waste time and emotional energy fretting over things we can't influence, whether it's the weather, someone else's opinion, or even the outcome of a decision, we end up exhausting ourselves mentally without changing the situation. This creates unnecessary stress and robs us of focus. On the other hand, when we shift our attention to what is actually within our control, our actions, our choices, and our mindset, we regain a sense of agency and move forward with purpose. Let's take a common example, a high-pressure meeting at work. Imagine that you're about to present a new idea to your team, but you're worried about how they'll react. Will they like it? Will they reject it? These questions swirl in your mind, creating anxiety. Now, if you approach this situation with a Stoic mindset, you'd remind yourself that their reactions are outside your control. What is within your control is how well you've prepared, how clearly you communicate your ideas, and how calmly you handle any feedback. By focusing on these controllable factors, you can channel your energy into giving your best effort rather than being paralyzed by worry. This habit isn't just about managing stress, it's about clarity. When you let go of the uncontrollable, you free your mind to focus on what truly matters. Think about it. How many times have you spent hours ruminating about something that, in hindsight, was entirely out of your hands? Maybe it was a traffic jam that made you late or someone else's behavior that irritated you. How would your day have been different if, instead of spiraling into frustration, you acknowledged that some things simply aren't yours to control and directed your thoughts elsewhere? Here's a practical exercise to try. The next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, pause and ask yourself two questions. First, is this within my control? And second, if it isn't, what can I focus on instead? For example, if you're worried about an upcoming event, instead of fixating on the possible outcomes, focus on preparing yourself as best as you can. This mental shift not only reduces stress but also helps you approach challenges with a clear and steady mind. Now, take a moment to reflect. What have you recently stressed about that was beyond your control? Was it something someone said, an outcome you couldn't predict, a past event you couldn't change? Recognizing these moments is the first step toward redirecting your energy. By practicing this habit daily, you'll find that your perspective starts to shift. You'll spend less time feeling helpless and more time focused on what you can actually influence. And that's where the real power lies. So what could you start letting go of today to restore your peace of mind? Imagine for a moment that you're about to give an important presentation. You're feeling confident, but then you begin to consider some potential obstacles. What if the technology fails? What if someone asks a difficult question you can't answer? At first, this might sound like an unproductive train of thought, but in reality, this exercise is one of the most powerful tools Stoicism offers: negative visualization. Also known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, negative visualization is the practice of mentally rehearsing setbacks and challenges before they happen. And rather than inducing anxiety, this habit actually builds resilience and fosters a sense of gratitude for the things that are already going well. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, captured this beautifully when he wrote, "Rehearse them in your mind: exile, torture, war, shipwreck. All the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes. While this might sound grim on the surface, the idea isn't to dwell on misfortune, but to prepare yourself emotionally for life's inevitable challenges. When you visualize setbacks in advance, you reduce their emotional impact if or when they actually occur. It's like mentally rehearsing a response to life's curveballs so that you're ready to face them with composure rather than panic. For example, let's say you have a critical meeting at work. Instead of focusing solely on everything going perfectly, take a moment to envision potential obstacles. Maybe there's a misunderstanding between team members or the discussion becomes tense. By imagining these scenarios, you give yourself the opportunity to plan a measured response. How would you diffuse tension if it arose? How could you clarify your point if someone misinterprets it? This kind of preemptive thinking not only enhances your ability to handle challenges, but also gives you greater confidence going into the situation because you know you've mentally prepared for the unexpected. But beyond preparation, negative visualization serves another important purpose. It helps you appreciate what you already have. When you imagine the loss of something you take for granted, you often find yourself feeling more grateful for it. Think about your health, for instance. If you were to visualize losing the ability to go for a walk or enjoy an active lifestyle, you might feel a renewed sense of gratitude the next time you take a simple stroll. This mindset shift can significantly reduce feelings of entitlement or dissatisfaction, reminding you of the abundance already present in your life. To put this habit into practice, start small. Pick a task or event coming up in your day and spend a few minutes mentally walking through potential obstacles. What if you're delayed on your way to an appointment? What if a colleague doesn't meet a deadline? Imagine those scenarios, then think about how you could respond constructively. Notice how this exercise doesn't just prepare you logistically, but also fortifies you emotionally. You're less likely to be caught off guard because you've already rehearsed a calm and thoughtful reaction. Now, let's reflect for a moment. How often do you approach your day expecting everything to go smoothly only to feel frustrated or overwhelmed when it doesn't? What if instead you reframed life's interruptions as opportunities to test your adaptability? When you visualize setbacks, you take control of how you'll react, and in doing so, you turn potential challenges into opportunities for growth. So, what's one situation in your life right now where you could practice negative visualization? By preparing today, you may just find a deeper sense of calm and strength for whatever tomorrow brings. Have you ever looked at your to-do list or calendar and felt completely overwhelmed? Like no matter how much you accomplish, there's always more piling up. This is where the next Stoic habit comes in, simplifying your commitments. In Stoicism, moderation and purposeful action are key principles, and they remind us that not everything deserves our time or energy. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." And one of the most freeing steps you can take is to evaluate the commitments in your life and focus only on what truly matters. Here's the truth: every commitment you make, whether it's taking on another project at work, attending one more event, or even saying yes to a favor, comes at a cost. Your time, energy, and mental clarity are finite resources. When you spread yourself too thin, you risk doing a little bit of everything but not excelling or finding meaning in anything. By embracing simplicity and learning to prioritize, you can reduce overwhelm and ensure your actions are aligned with your purpose, rather than just reacting to the demands of others. Let's consider an example. Imagine someone who's constantly overbooked back-to-back meetings, family responsibilities, and volunteering for every social event. At the surface level, they might seem productive or even admirable for juggling so much. But if you dug a little deeper, they might feel burned out, stressed, and out of touch with what truly fulfills them. Now compare that to someone who intentionally simplifies their commitments. They might say no to less important tasks, clear their schedule of unnecessary obligations, and focus their energy on just a few meaningful projects. They achieve more impact, feel more in control, and have the mental clarity to give their best to what matters most. This difference isn't about being busy versus lazy, it's about being deliberate. To put this philosophy into practice, start by asking yourself, what are my priorities? What commitments truly align with my values? For example, if family is one of your core values, but your schedule is packed with activities that keep you away from loved ones, it might be time to reassess. Similarly, if career growth is important to you, are your daily tasks moving you closer to that goal? Or are you spending too much time stuck in low-value activities? By focusing on fewer, high-impact commitments, you can move through your day with greater purpose and less stress. Decluttering your schedule isn't just about saying no to others, it's also about saying yes to yourself. It's about creating space for reflection, rest, and intentional living. One way to start this process is by making a habit of reviewing your commitments weekly. Look at your upcoming tasks and ask, does this align with my priorities? If the answer is no, consider delegating, delaying, or simply letting it go altogether. Over time, this practice helps you design a life that feels less reactive and more meaningful. Now, take a moment to reflect. Are there commitments in your life right now that feel draining, unfulfilling, or out of alignment with what you truly care about? What would it feel like to simplify your schedule, not just to do less for the sake of doing less, but to free up energy for the things that truly matter? By embracing this habit, you're not only reducing overwhelm, but also making space for deeper clarity and intentionality. In the end, simplicity isn't about sacrificing, it's about choosing wisely. So, where in your life can you begin to simplify today? Have you ever been completely derailed by an unexpected challenge? Maybe a project didn't go as planned, a goal you were working toward hit a major roadblock, or a sudden life event forced you to change course. It's frustrating, isn't it? Challenges like these often feel like they're halting our progress, but what if they could actually become the fuel for it? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, offers us a powerful reframing tool in his famous words, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, obstacles aren't just things to endure, they're opportunities to grow, adapt, and move forward in ways we might not have imagined. Reframing obstacles as opportunities is one of the most transformative Stoic habits because it shifts your mindset from resistance to resilience. Instead of viewing challenges as a reason to give up or feel defeated, you begin to see them as a necessary part of growth. Think of it like a muscle. Without resistance, like the tension of lifting weights, your muscles can't grow stronger. Similarly, obstacles provide the mental and emotional resistance we need to build strength, creativity, and adaptability. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you're working on a team project at work, and suddenly, a key piece of technology fails, pushing your deadline back by weeks. At first, this might feel like a disaster, but reframing the situation could reveal unexpected opportunities. With the extra time, you might revisit certain aspects of the project and improve them. Or maybe the setback forces the team to collaborate more effectively and develop stronger problem-solving skills. When viewed through the Stoic lens, the delay isn't just an inconvenience, it's a chance to grow as a team and deliver something even better than originally planned. This mindset of turning obstacles into opportunities doesn't just help in practical scenarios, it also builds emotional resilience. When you embrace challenges as part of the process rather than deviations from it, you stop fearing them. Instead, you start approaching life with a sense of curiosity and determination. What can I learn from this? How can I use this to get better? Over time, this habit trains you to respond to setbacks with confidence and creativity instead of panic or frustration. Here's something you can try today. Think about an obstacle you're currently facing. Maybe it's a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, a delay in achieving a goal, or a skill you're struggling to master. Ask yourself, how can this challenge make me stronger, wiser, or better prepared for the future? You might be surprised at the perspective this brings. For example, that tough conversation might teach you how to navigate conflict more effectively, or the delay in your goal might give you extra time to refine your approach and ensure long-term success. With this simple shift in perspective, what once felt like a setback transforms into a stepping stone. So let me ask you, is there a challenge in your life right now that's been holding you back? How might you reinterpret it as an opportunity for growth or self-improvement? When you embrace this mindset, not only do you reduce stress and frustration, but you also train your mind to see potential where others see problems. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, what stands in the way becomes the way. So, what obstacle in your life can you turn into progress today? Journaling is one of the most powerful yet underestimated tools for self-awareness and personal growth. In the Stoic tradition, daily journaling was considered a cornerstone of self-improvement. It wasn't just about logging events, it was an intentional practice to reflect on one's thoughts, actions, and emotions, fostering clarity and sharpening your sense of direction. As Seneca wisely advised, every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I acquire? This simple yet profound reflection can transform the way you approach your life one day at a time. When you commit to journaling, you create a space to pause and evaluate your day. In a world where our minds are constantly racing, from checking emails to tackling to-do lists, journaling allows you to slow down and turn inward. It helps you process what worked, what didn't, and why. Over time, this practice strengthens your mental discipline, making you more mindful of your actions and reactions. It's like holding up a mirror to yourself each day, allowing you to notice patterns, acknowledge progress, and identify areas for improvement. Let's break it down with a practical example. Imagine you've had a particularly stressful day at work. You might sit down with your journal that evening and begin with a simple prompt. What did I handle well today? Perhaps you kept your composure during a tense meeting or offered support to a struggling colleague. Writing this down not only reinforces your positive actions, but also builds your confidence and encourages you to carry these strengths forward. Then you could explore a follow-up question. What could I have done better? Maybe you realize that in the rush to meet deadlines, you were short-tempered with a teammate. Recognizing this gives you an opportunity to reflect on how you could approach similar situations more thoughtfully in the future. Over time, these small daily reflections can lead to profound changes. They help you live more intentionally, aligning your actions with your values. Journaling also allows you to track your progress. Reading back on previous entries, you'll see how you've overcome challenges, improved in areas you once struggled with, and grown into a more grounded and self-aware version of yourself. If you're wondering how to get started, keep it simple. You don't need a fancy notebook or a rigid structure. Instead, focus on consistency. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. Choose prompts that resonate with you. Questions like, what made me feel grateful today? Did I let something outside my control affect my mood? What can I do tomorrow to improve? The key is to use your journal as a safe space for honest self-reflection, free from judgment. Now, here's a challenge for you. Commit to journaling for the next 7 days. Each evening, write down just a few sentences about your day. Reflect on what went well and what could be improved. Notice how this simple habit affects your mindset. Do you feel calmer, more focused, or more aware of your thoughts and actions? The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity, yet its impact can be extraordinary. So, what's stopping you from starting? Grab a notebook, find a quiet moment, and begin reflecting tonight. As you embrace this habit, you'll not only gain clarity and direction, but also a deeper connection to your own journey. And remember, as Seneca reminds us, self-improvement isn't about perfection. It's about recognizing where we are and taking small, deliberate steps toward where we want to be. What insights might your next journal entry reveal about you? Gratitude is the antidote to mental clutter and dissatisfaction. When we focus on what's missing in our lives, what we don't have, what we wish were different, our minds become consumed by a sense of lack. But gratitude shifts that focus entirely. It turns our attention to what we already have, to the abundance that surrounds us, even in the simplest of things. As Marcus Aurelius said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Gratitude, at its core, reminds us that even amidst life's challenges, there is always something to appreciate. In the Stoic tradition, gratitude wasn't about extravagant gestures or grand displays. Instead, it was about cultivating a deep appreciation for life's basics. Imagine how often we overlook the things we depend on daily: clean water, food to nourish us, a home to protect us, or even the people we care about. The Stoics encouraged us to pause and reflect on these constants, to step back from a mindset of entitlement and instead nurture one of acknowledgement and humility. After all, it's easy to get caught up in striving for more, but when was the last time you truly paused to appreciate what you already have? Let's bring this idea into your daily life with a simple habit: writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. This might sound too easy to be effective, but don't underestimate its power. Think about it. When you intentionally reflect on the positives in your life, you're training your brain to notice them more often. Gratitude, like any skill, grows stronger with practice. For example, you might jot down something small, like the comfort of your morning coffee or the kindness of a stranger holding the door for you. Or it could be something more profound, like gratitude for your health, the support of family, or the opportunity to pursue your goals. With time, this habit rewires your perspective, making it easier to see the good, even in challenging circumstances. The benefits of this practice extend far beyond improving your mood. When you approach life with a grateful mindset, you naturally reduce mental clutter. That constant comparing, second-guessing, and yearning for more begins to fade. Instead, you feel more present, grounded, and focused. This, in turn, enhances your productivity because you're no longer chasing unnecessary distractions. You're working from a place of contentment and clarity rather than stress or dissatisfaction. Here's something to reflect on. How might cultivating gratitude change the way you approach your goals? Instead of feeling like you're never doing enough, could it help you recognize the progress you've already made? Could it shift your perception of what productivity means? Not just ticking boxes on a to-do list, but creating meaningful momentum toward what truly matters to you. Take a moment now to think about 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be complicated, just let whatever comes to mind flow naturally. Notice how this small exercise makes you feel. Does it bring a sense of calm or perspective? Imagine starting or ending each day with this practice, consistently planting seeds of appreciation in your mind. Over time, these small moments of gratitude can add up to a profound shift in how you see the world and yourself. So, what are you grateful for today? If you're willing, make it a habit to take just a few minutes each day to reflect on that question. Not only will it help you see the abundance in your life, but it might just become the foundation for a more peaceful, productive, and fulfilled version of you. Have you ever found yourself fixated on achieving the perfect outcome? Maybe it's delivering flawless work on a project, acing an exam, or impressing someone important. While aiming high can motivate us, an obsession with perfect results often does more harm than good. It creates unnecessary stress, impairs decision-making, and leads to constant second-guessing. This is where the Stoic habit of detaching from outcomes can completely change your perspective. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, summed it up perfectly. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. In other words, focus on what you can control, your effort, preparation, and actions, and let go of the need to control results which are often outside your grasp. Detaching from outcomes doesn't mean becoming indifferent or careless. It's not about lowering your standards or refusing to set goals. Instead, it's about recognizing that the process is where your power lies. No matter how well you prepare or how hard you work, there will always be factors beyond your control, external circumstances, other people's decisions, or even plain bad luck. By accepting this, you free yourself from the anxiety and mental strain that come from trying to control the uncontrollable. What remains is a clear, steady focus on giving each moment your best effort, which ironically often leads to better results. Take a common scenario, a high-stakes job interview. If you go into it solely focused on getting the job offer, it's easy to spiral into anxiety. What if they don't like your answers? What if the role goes to someone else? That pressure can take your attention away from what you actually can control: your preparation, your composure, and your ability to communicate confidently. But if you shift your mindset and commit to doing your best, regardless of the outcome, you approach the situation with far more clarity and calm. Whether you get the job or not, you can walk away knowing you gave it your all, and that's all anyone can ever truly do. Detachment from outcomes is especially valuable when making high-pressure decisions. Imagine a leader trying to navigate a significant business challenge. If they're consumed by the fear of failure, they might overthink every option, delaying action or making decisions out of panic. But if they adopt the Stoic mindset, they can focus on analyzing the situation, weighing options, and making the best decision they can with the information available, without being paralyzed by the need for guarantees. This approach reduces anxiety and allows for more decisive, rational action, even in uncertain circumstances. Now, let's bring this idea into your daily life. Think about a time when you poured all your energy into a project, only to feel disappointed because the result wasn't what you hoped for. How much of that disappointment came from external validation, or a lack of it? Could you instead shift your focus toward recognizing the effort and commitment you put into the process, regardless of the final outcome? When you learn to value effort over perfection, you start to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment because your success isn't tethered to things outside your control. So, here's a question to consider. How can you prioritize effort over outcomes in your work or personal life? Maybe it's approaching your next big task with the intention to give it your absolute best, while letting go of how others might respond. Or maybe it's simply reminding yourself that mistakes and unexpected results are part of growth, not a reflection of failure. Epictetus reminds us that life is unpredictable, but our actions, our mindset, and our effort are always within our power. By focusing on those, you'll find that the stress of chasing perfect outcomes fades, leaving you with clarity, confidence, and a sense of purpose in everything you do. Think about the last time you deliberately stepped outside your comfort zone. Maybe it was trying something new, taking on an unfamiliar challenge, or even just resisting the urge to go for the easier option. How did it feel? Uncomfortable, perhaps even daunting at first, but likely rewarding in the end. This brings us to the next Stoic habit: embracing discomfort. As counterintuitive as it may seem, intentionally facing small hardships in a controlled way is a powerful practice for cultivating resilience, sharpening mental clarity, and strengthening perseverance. The Stoics believed that voluntarily stepping into discomfort helps prepare us for life's inevitable challenges, making us more adaptable and less reliant on external comforts. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, offers a timeless example of this principle. He wrote about the practice of occasionally living simply, eating plain foods, wearing basic clothing, and foregoing luxuries, not out of necessity but as an exercise in resilience. He explained, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" By deliberately exposing himself to discomfort, Seneca not only reduced his dependence on material wealth, but also developed an appreciation for what he already had. This practice reminds us that the things we think we can't live without are, more often than not, luxuries we can endure without, and that true contentment comes from within, not from external ease. Embracing discomfort in small, intentional ways can rewire the way we approach challenges. For example, consider how powerful mental clarity can arise from something as simple as a cold shower. It's not pleasant in the moment, but enduring that brief intensity builds mental toughness and teaches you to face discomfort directly rather than shy away from it. Or take the challenge of reducing your screen time for a day, or even just a few hours. At first, it feels awkward, maybe even frustrating, because we've grown accustomed to the constant flow of notifications and entertainment. But over time, that discomfort fades and it makes space for something more meaningful: reflection, presence, or even boredom, which is often the seed of creativity. These small acts of voluntary hardship serve as training grounds for life's larger challenges. When we build the habit of stepping outside our comfort zones, it becomes easier to face the unexpected discomforts that life inevitably throws our way. For instance, if you practice living with less, perhaps by simplifying your possessions or cutting back on unnecessary expenses, you're better equipped to handle unexpected financial setbacks. If you've trained yourself to function without constant distractions, you'll find it easier to stay focused and composed in high-pressure situations. These exercises might seem trivial in isolation, but over time they compound, turning you into someone who not only endures discomfort but thrives in it. Now take a moment to reflect. What's one way you could introduce a little controlled discomfort into your daily routine? Maybe it's skipping your favorite indulgence for a few days, waking up earlier than usual, or challenging yourself to complete a workout you've been avoiding. These small acts, inconvenient as they might seem, are investments in your mental fortitude. How might facing these minor hardships today strengthen your ability to handle bigger challenges tomorrow? The truth is, we grow the most when we are stretched, when we are tested, and when we face the kind of discomfort that forces us to adapt. By embracing these moments voluntarily, as the Stoics taught, we not only toughen the mind but also gain a deeper appreciation for the comforts we once took for granted. So, what could you do today to step outside your comfort zone? How might you embrace discomfort as a teacher and an ally rather than something to fear? At the end of a long day, your mind might be buzzing a swirl of unfinished tasks, unresolved conversations, and lingering doubts. This is the perfect time to pause, reflect, and bring the day to a meaningful close. Reflecting on your day not only creates a sense of closure but also helps clear mental clutter, setting the stage for a fresh start tomorrow. For the Stoics, this nightly practice of introspection was essential for self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius himself described this ritual as a way to examine his actions and align them with his values. He wrote, "When the light has gone out and you're lying in bed, remind yourself again and again that you are a human being and your nature demands action in harmony with reason." The Stoic habit of evening reflection is not about judgment or dwelling on mistakes, it's about understanding. It's a chance to evaluate your actions, celebrate your successes, and identify areas where you might improve. This practice keeps you grounded in your values while fostering a sense of ownership over your growth. Instead of carrying the weight of the day's imperfections into tomorrow, you can use this habit to leave those behind, carrying only the lessons forward. Imagine how this might look in practice. As your day winds down, find someplace quiet, maybe your desk, your favorite chair, or even your bed, and spend a few moments thinking back on the events of the day. Start by asking yourself, what went well today? What actions or choices am I proud of? This isn't about boasting, but about acknowledging your effort and progress, no matter how small. Maybe you handled a difficult conversation with patience, made time to connect with a loved one, or completed a task you'd been putting off. Recognizing these moments helps you build confidence and reinforces the habits you want to cultivate. Next, reflect on the areas where you fell short or could have done better. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? Did I lose my temper, procrastinate, or let distractions pull me away from what mattered? Again, the goal isn't to criticize yourself, but to notice patterns and learn from them. For example, if you snapped at a coworker out of frustration, perhaps tomorrow you can practice pausing and taking a deep breath before reacting. By framing these moments as opportunities for growth, you begin to see challenges not as failures but as stepping stones toward becoming a better version of yourself. To deepen this practice, you might write down one valuable lesson you've learned from your day. For instance, perhaps you realized the importance of staying present in conversations, or maybe you noticed how much more productive you were when you resisted the urge to multitask. Writing this lesson down solidifies it, giving it weight and making it easier to carry forward into the days ahead. Over time, this nightly ritual becomes a guide, a quiet compass pointing you toward growth, clarity, and peace of mind. So, as you prepare to end your day tonight, consider carving out just 5 minutes for reflection. What went well today? What could you improve? And what's one lesson you'll carry forward into tomorrow? By embracing this practice, you align yourself with the Stoic pursuit of self-mastery. Always striving, always learning, always growing. How will you use tonight's reflection to take one step closer to the person you want to be? To wrap things up, let's take a moment to reflect on the 10 powerful Stoic habits we've explored together. These practices, starting your day with intentional silence, focusing only on what's within your control, practicing negative visualization, simplifying your commitments, reframing obstacles as opportunities, cultivating a daily journaling habit, expressing gratitude regularly, detaching from outcomes, embracing discomfort, and ending the day with thoughtful reflection, are much more than ancient ideas. They're practical, actionable tools that you can integrate into your daily life. Each habit is designed to help you cut through mental clutter, face life's challenges with calm resilience, and create the clarity and focus you need to move closer to your goals. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity and practicality. It's not about achieving perfection, but about striving to live intentionally, becoming more mindful of your actions, aligning them with your values, and growing through the ups and downs of life. These habits aren't quick fixes or temporary solutions. They are timeless principles that, when practiced consistently, shape the way you approach everything from stress and setbacks to productivity and purpose. By grounding yourself in these practices, you're not just surviving life's chaos, you're thriving in it with clarity and determination. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." This quote is an inspiring reminder that personal growth begins with defining your intentions, deciding the kind of person you want to be, and then taking deliberate steps every day to live in alignment with that vision. It's about action. Each of these habits is a step toward that better version of yourself, whether it's taking a few minutes of quiet reflection in the morning, challenging yourself to embrace discomfort, or writing down the lessons from your day. So now, the question is, how can you take these principles and implement them in your own life? Start small, choose 1 or 2 habits that resonate with you the most and commit to incorporating them into your daily routine. Over time, as they become second nature, you can build on them, creating a life that's simpler, clearer, and more focused on what truly matters. As you think about this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these habits speaks to you the most? How will you begin using Stoic philosophy to create more mental clarity and productivity in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know how you plan to take action. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more practical Stoic insights to help you navigate life with purpose and resilience. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Each day is an opportunity to learn, to reflect, and to take small but meaningful steps toward becoming the best version of yourself. So embrace these habits, let the wisdom of Stoicism guide you, and as Marcus Aurelius would say, take action in harmony with reason. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.